Discussion now, and it's all about direct marketing in the information age. And I'd like to invite two people from Prognosis, the founder and president, Abhishek Yadav, and Tanu Niwaz, the executive vice president of HDFC Life, Sanjay Tripathi, and the president of InfoCode, Scott Neuberger, who seems to like it up here, I think. So I invite you good people up here. Thank you very much. Who's Tanu? Okay.
Executive Director from Prognosis Direct. Abhishek, the founder, is not here with us. He couldn't make it to the event. So I have Avinash. He is an Associate Director. So he will be joining the panel instead. And we have Sanjay and Scott. Thanks for being with us here. So I would like to start this discussion on direct marketing in the information age. And my first question, which we can take turns to answer, is what is your overview of direct marketing? Direct database marketing as a practice, database marketing as an industry. So what is your overview of it as of today?
No, for us, it's really important because we're an insurance company and every year we add close to 1 million customer base. And though it is small compared to some of the large banks, still currently we have close to 5 million data points, which is really, really high. And more importantly, in our kind of segment, the customer buy different product at different life stages. So what happens if you buy a product today, maybe after 3-4 years time, your life stage needs are different, so you will probably look for a product. Give an example, see if you're unmarried, you'll probably buy an endowment plan or a term plan. But post-marriage, you might look for something like a children plan, which will really solve your need. So it is important to understand the life stage events of the customer. It's also important to understand what are the changes happening in the customer life cycle. And for that, you need to understand what the customer has given in the initial point of time. So we have got loads and loads of data points because we have got huge form when you buy an insurance product, which are filled and kept in some place, which nobody knows because the distributor is only interested in his premium and the sales credit. Then no one has really looked up to it. So what we did, I think 5 to 6 years back, I'm very happy to see Sandeep because Sandeep was one of our main key partners. So with Cartesian and Alterian tool, we started looking at our data and see that, how can we really make a meaningful discussion out of it and trying to see what we can learn from it. So we look at two key areas for our business. One is how we can upsell, cross-sell and sell more, which is like a database marketing. The second part we look at what is the propensity to lapse, who are the customer who will probably not give the revenue, give the next year premium. Because insurance business is not about 1 year premium, it's getting that next premium for next 15 or 20 years. So both ways we can actually get more revenues. And more importantly, it will also give an idea who's more satisfied customer, who's most growable customer. So how to really look at data in terms of making more meaningful insight out of it and try to work in different segment to make more profitable customer out of it. So we started that journey at that point of time, and I believe most of the companies who are data rich like us, like insurance banking, we have to really invest in database marketing and make it work for the company because I think that's the best way and the most profitable way to grow business. See, currently we started that journey 5 years back. Currently through our database marketing effort, we get around close to 100 crore business every year. And through our lapse prediction model, be a propensity to lapse models, we actually ensure the customer giving renewal premium up to the tune of 500 to 600 crores, which is a huge amount. So again, this is just a journey because there are a lot of stages involved. One is ensuring the data is correct, ensuring you're standardizing the data and you're ensuring the data is robust every year so that you're getting more information out of it. Then next stage is you've got a right kind of data warehousing in place, and also ensuring that all these things are fine, but are you really making a customer portrait out of it? In the sense, are you really understanding the customer? Are you really ensuring that once you understand the customer, you've got a call center to talk to that customer, and then you've got a sales team to really take credit out of it. We saw in initial years there are a lot of gaps in all the stages, and you don't get the best of the results because there are gaps from the way your data team looks at the data and your sales team looks at the same whatever we say as appointment and or saying that this is the guy has got a propensity to buy and looking at that lead to really make it conversion. So there is a huge improvement required across different stages. And this is a journey. I think no company in India, I can tell for sure, has reached the last stage in terms of can really come up and say that, we really make the data count for us.
Certainly. Thank you, Sanjay. Scott, would you want to bring up your...
Sure, I'll try to add to that by talking about an area of our business where we help our customers find new customers, prospective customers. And in terms of direct marketing, the key is always to find people who have intent to do something, to buy a product or to use a service before they actually have made their final decision. And an area of our business where we focus a lot on this is in the automotive space. We do work for Nissan in addition to some other car companies, and finding people that are shopping for a vehicle, that are shopping for a certain type of vehicle and yet haven't yet made their final decision is a key part of a successful direct marketing campaign. Being able to target them, figuring out the channels that they're going to respond to the best from, and I think that's an important part of direct marketing.
Certainly.
Hello. So I'd like to add here that nowadays information in the direct marketing scenario has become really important, in a sense that whenever you are doing a marketing, whether it is a B2B marketing or it's a B2C marketing, the information that is available within these databases is really critical and important. And with the advent of digital marketing, there's a huge scope involved in getting the information. So I'd like to share a case study where Prognosis did a huge entire industry mapping within India for one of our IT clients, B2B client. Although Forrester and Gartner, companies like Forrester and Gartner do mention in their researches that there is a huge database of companies that is available in India, close to 15-20 lakhs of companies within India, B2B companies. But actually, when you get to know about this information on field, you can't really identify these companies. So the objective of this IT client of ours was to identify those companies within India and get to know about the information areas of these companies, starting from the revenue, turnover, the IT infrastructure. Of course, they are an IT client, so they're more concerned about IT infrastructure and the kind of company, how big is the company. So we had an entire Salesforce team, Feet on Street team, which mapped the entire B2B companies within India. And on field, we set it, and we had an analytics team, and we had the research team who was working upon this project, and we were able to identify across 40 cities of India. We were able to identify almost 8 lakh companies within India. And the information carried in these databases was very huge, starting from around 40 to 50 fields of information were covered within that database. And that information was really critical for the client because they wanted to do a targeted marketing campaign. So once you have database and you have information available in that database that you can cater to, that can really drive ROI out of your campaigns. So that's what I would like to share.
Sure. Thanks, Avinash. So we know that there are many databases, there are many lists, we are creating a lot of data, there's a lot of data building which is happening. But what do you think is the biggest challenge? What is the gap in terms of what is available, what is required? What primarily is the need of the hour?
Well, the first thing I'll just put out the structure. Most of the companies are not really well structured to take the advantage of the databases. Because what is happening is what has happened over the past, that direct marketing always was a part of marketing. But when you look at what we call as database marketing, require a differential skill set. So these guys typically in most of the companies sit somewhere between marketing and IT. And they're not really directly linked to the business. So most of the thing, they understand the data, but do they understand business need? Do they really come up with a solution with the business really look at? Do they understand different stages of marketing? Just to give an example, do a good database marketer really understand how to do a campaign post you understand the database? For example, let's say I look at a propensity to buy model. I look at this is the kind of, this guy bought a policy from me 5 years down the line. Now he's a pension, he can buy a pension policy. But does this guy know how to really do a campaign for this customer? in terms of whether it is an email campaign or like, if it's a telecalling kind of thing, like putting a script in place so that, the guy, it can be targeted properly. Or let's say when he's visiting my website, when he's going and, it shows that, you have planned for your child, but have you planned for yourself? Like, have you put an emotional message? Does he know how to really put that messaging in place? So those are the things currently is missing because they work mostly in silos. There's a database marketing, do a database segment and give it to the campaign team looks at it and put a campaign kind of thing. And third part is like linkage, as I told you earlier, that is the linkage in the chain. Like, once you do the data and, then look at how I can look at a business. It goes to the call center. There is a drop in the call center as per the efficiency. Is the data, like, when I'm looking at a propensity, is it going to call center in terms of like a hot lead, cold lead kind of thing? Once customer is interested, how that it actually goes to the sales team. Is the sales team really looking forward to it? I'll just give an example in the insurance companies, like, there are 3 basic channels. One is the agency channel, one is a bank assurance channel, one is a direct channel. So agency channel has got initial stages, most of the customer, but they have not really equipped to do a database marketing because they basically sell in near and dear ones, they're what we call as their, the market very close to them. So after that, they don't know. If I give them that propensity to buy model, saying that this customer is probably buy more, he'll not go there because he has got his own setup way to really get that business. And probably if he go and meet them, he'll never give me what happened in that discussion. He'll not really come back and update the lead. So what is happening? Most of the gaps happen because you don't get the ROI from it. And most of the drop happens because of that. The other challenges is like most of the campaigns, some of the companies I've seen, does campaign for the sake of doing campaign. And, it's a campaign-based ROI. So one guy told me that, we do 2,500 campaigns in a year. So every campaign has an ROI. So am I really micro-segmenting, trying to do too many campaigns and trying to every campaign put an ROI kind of thing? Is that a better way I can actually touch base with the customer? Am I really looking at a customer saying that whether I've got a policy in place that, I can only touch base with the customer max 4 times in the year, so I'll not bother the customer? Am I really looking at the customer privacy part of it? The third issue is like, we are very much interested in getting more business. See, most of the database marketing effort is to get more business. Am I really bothered about the satisfaction of the customer? When my call center guy is calling up the customer, which has got propensity to buy, am I really taking his input saying that, is he really happy with my existing policy? Is he really has got some issues which are not really been solved? First, solve the issue and going back. So what I see that, today the database marketing has to be much more comprehensive in nature, and it has to link back with all segment within the company, and particularly all other part of marketing also. So it has to be part of a 360-degree initiative to get the best benefit out of the database marketing.
Certainly. Thanks, Sanjay. Scott, you would want to bring in some global perspective on this?
Sure. So, looking at from a global point of view, especially in markets where there's more data to choose between, one of the key challenges is figuring out which data is the right data for a particular campaign. How do you test one list against another? How do you evaluate the sourcing of the data, the quality of the data? How do you pick the right segments of those databases? Those are really key challenges that you face when you're in a situation where there's lots of data to choose between. Another key challenge is incorporating results from prior campaigns and learning from the prior campaigns so that hopefully the future campaigns are better and are learning from the prior campaigns. And I'd say the last thing, a key challenge is sort of a repeat, but to really know who your customer is and know what's driving their behavior, so that you can find more people like them and how to accomplish that.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, Avinash.
I'd like to share that it is really difficult in a B2B environment to keep the database of the people who are the decision makers really in the B2B companies when you're approaching them. This is the first major challenge that nowadays the companies which are marketing from B2B environment in a B2B perspective, this is the biggest challenge to reach the right decision makers for your products. Other one is that while you're trying to reach your target audience, you'll find that much of the database is not really live. So you'll have outdated contacts, and you'll have contacts who are not really in those companies right now. They have shifted, and I've seen many scenarios where clients keep complaining about that the databases are out to date. How do you keep the databases alive? So the major challenge and the solution to it is that whenever you market databases and you run a campaign on it, it should be really live and it should be updated at the extent that you drive a good ROI out of it.
Sure, thank you. All right, so any innovation, any best practice which you would really want to talk about?
I think the best part of the database marketing is actually you got a historical trend, and you got a lot of data. If you got good data scientists or like good guys who can really do data mining well and understand and bring intelligence out of it, you can actually predict a future trend. So what we look at let's say I'm doing a labs campaign, it's very difficult to know who's going to labs, but based on the past behavior, we have identified a segment. And when we do a database we look at the database, we get a lift up, let's say around 30%, which means that by calling 50% of the customer, I can actually target 80% of the customer. So I don't have to call the rest 50% of the customer. So I actually can I stop 80% of my labs, like the guy is supposed to lapse the policy rather than calling everyone. So what it will actually help me to stop the additional money which is getting spent in the whole campaign, and so business result to the company. Similarly, when I'm doing an upsell campaign, if I segment the database saying that and looking at what is the future need wise, and segment which is most likely to buy. See, today the result is very phenomenally good, in the sense for the same customer acquisition, if I go open market to any other distributor channel, it almost gives me almost 1/5 or 1/6 of the cost I can actually acquire the customer, because there is absolutely no cost. He's your own customer. You talk to him for a future policy which is his need, and you have got the database to match that, saying that you probably need that, now that you have a child, you need a policy for your child. So if you can really understand the data and make a meaningful insight out of it, and create a customer portrait, and you got no leakages in the system, and you can surely get a lot of dividend in the whole process.
Certainly, thank you.
What comes to mind for me is when you're marketing in a very defined segment or a very defined product with a limited market size, as some of our customers do, knowing when to remarket to the same people is a decision that that is a difficult one to breach, and to do it successfully. It can make a huge difference in the results of the long-term result of a campaign. You don't want to market too frequently to the same people, because they'll tune you out, and then you'll lose them forever. But you also don't want to miss a potential important event in their life, or important change in their buying habits, where they might be ready to engage with your product or your service. And you can do that with predictive models, and with using history, looking at past situations with other customers, and that's something we do a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, Avinash.
I'd add on to that predictive modeling really works well in a B2C environment, but when it comes to B2B, it's really difficult to work on a predictive model. But the best is that you can do is that you're identifying the right contacts in a B2B model and marketing to them. So predictive model works best in a B2C environment. So you have certain tools which can analyze the buying behavior and the buying pattern of the customers, where he has made the purchases, and what is his most likely purchase, and then what is his most likely next purchase. So in that manner, we can reach the same segment of customers maybe once or twice or thrice a year. Maybe if it is a life insurance policy, or if it is any other kind of a product. So in that manner, it can be helpful, but yes, you'll have to take into account new customer acquisitions as well at the same time.
Sure. All right, so I would like to, as a final question, check with you on what suggestions do you have for the agencies? And, we talk about the brands when it comes to getting the most out of marketing databases.
I think the first thing is getting your house right. You have to set up data warehousing, robust data warehousing, which you can get. You can actually look at the data much quicker, much faster way. The other way is looking at a differentiated communication team, which you can actually give multiple messages, because most of the marketing teams are very equipped to give one-to-many communication, but they are not really great in terms of when you're looking at a micro-segmenting and giving a message. Third thing is when you're looking at a database marketing, it is important to have your own in-house team, build an in-house team over the year, and supplement with the external vendor or external agencies to really work on it. Because if you don't have an internal team, because they understand the business requirement much better, and they need to really work across different departments to make sense of it. And in the early stages, what we call, you have to adapt database marketing as a company, and then you have to educate other people how towards the benefit of database marketing through doing multiple small pilots, and then showing the result, and bringing bigger things. Because overnight it will not got big, can get big in a company, but as you show result to different teams, obviously teams will be interested. See, we started with working predictive models with our customer service team, and then with the direct team. Then we started, now we do analytics for claim team, we do analytics even for the investment team. So you can actually grow the scope as you grow further. And we do it for our distribution team, who are the potential MDMTRT agents for next year. So we actually start 1 year in advance looking at my agent base of 1 lakh, saying that who can become MDRT agent, next 1,000 MDRT agent, how can I pick up, looking at the behavior. So there are multiple things you can do, but you have to start small and you can grow from there. The fourth part is linking your database marketing team along with the entire marketing team, because they have to understand marketing. If they just understand data and understand statistics, it's not going to help. The last point is it has to, at the end of the day, it has to do business benefit. You have to, database marketing team has to understand how they're building business benefit, and they have to demonstrate business benefit rather than, demonstrate only on a statistical equation. Okay, there's a prediction model. If you actually follow this model, it will be lapsation will come down by 10%. Finally, every year you have to show that, how the model is working along with the past data, whether the model is still robust or not. You need to really revamp the model. So you have to work on a regular basis rather than, working on more on isolation and trying to show that, okay, this is a model, please take it and run it. If there is a problem, it is your problem, it's not my problem.
What I would say from the agency's point of view is, especially when you're working across several markets and several countries, to always get local, always find the best local sources, and don't rely on out-of-country sources. Makes a big difference. Local knowledge is always better than not local knowledge. The other thing is, be creative. Some of the times, the data that you need just doesn't exist, and figuring out ways around those kind of problems. For example, one of our clients is Netflix, and they're expanding into Brazil right now, and they're offering a streaming internet movie service in Brazil, and so they need people that have high-speed internet. High-speed internet isn't everywhere in Brazil, and it's in local pockets, and so the challenge was to find people that have high-speed internet, but that information doesn't exist in marketing databases. So you have to then, figure out where does the high-speed internet service exist, first of all, and then what are the characteristics, what are the attributes of the people that would be buying high-speed internet, and by narrowing by geography and then by other attributes, you can build a target audience that didn't exist before. So being creative is a key piece.
What I feel is the databases, and if you're doing in this information age, if you're doing a direct marketing activities, you should keep your databases precisely alive so that it can drive value for your clients. And since Prognosys is focused across APAC and ASEAN and India, so we keep our databases live around the year so that our clients can drive benefits from it. And of course, thinking thinking globally and acting locally helps a lot. And we, try to give specific ROI out of every database marketing or direct marketing campaign that we have been doing from past 8 years for every of our clients. So, that is the major feedback I'd like to give agencies, that keep your database live so that it adds value to the client's business.
Sure. Thank you, Avinash. We can take an audience question, I guess. We have time. Okay.
I have one question for the panel. I think you all mentioned that one of the biggest issues in B2B was how to reach the right decision maker. And could you just illustrate, is there a best practice on how to reach the right decision maker in B2B?
What I'd like to answer that is that until and unless you have a dedicated team internally, wherein you're focusing on top maybe 50 or 100 enterprise accounts or 50 SMB companies with a specific revenue range, and you have your dedicated team or a field or a feet on street team or a team who interacts globally or locally with all the maybe marketing officers or the IT managers or the IT heads or concerning to any division. Until and unless there is some personalization involved in a relationship, you can't really figure out, how to reach the right decision makers on time.
Okay. Anybody, Sanjeev, would like to add on to something? Or?
No, it is like, obviously I'm not in B2B space at the moment, but I can only add to it that saying that, everything depends on what is the robustness of the data, what is the kind of database you have got over the period of time. It can be done by your team, or you have got the database from some other source. You have to verify the source, ensure that whether it is right or not. See what happened in a B2B space. There are a lot of changes. This guy is there as a head, tomorrow he may not be there. Is your field guy really updating the database on the right point of time, and getting the records on time? So, and second is understanding those customers, what is their need. So a CFO, a communication to CFO and communication to a CTO, both cannot be the same. So you have to ensure that your communication is different for different segment, ensure the success rate. If it is not successful, you have to probably modify this thing. So what you need to really understand is post you have got a database, ensuring the database success rate. You have to put a success rate in terms of your campaign and ensuring that whether the campaign success rate is getting maintained or not. The third part is you got a success, someone's own interest. But is your sales team really going and really able to convert those leads? If you are not able to convert, probably you need to really relook and to see that how the sales team can be really trained to really take care of those leads. So you can't look at an isolation. You have to look at all three segments to make it work.
Sure. All right. Thank you. So I would like to sum this up by saying that, while there are tools, predictive marketing tools, which can help us in the decision making. However, I think it's very important to have an updated live database, which can be done partly through regular validation activities, keeping a customer relationship alive, and just making sure that you have your database validated at any point of time. I guess an active database is the best source, and that is what the agencies should focus on to get good business. All right, thank you.